Every single day, millions of men lose something priceless. Not because they weren't worthy of it. Not because love wasn't there, but because they simply couldn't recognize it. You see, we've been conditioned to believe that love has to be loud. That if someone truly cares, they'll shout it from the rooftops, write it in fire across the sky, and make it painfully obvious. But that's not how real love works. Real love whispers. Real love hides. Real love reveals itself only to those who know how to look. And here's the truth most men never realize. A woman can already love you, already be emotionally tied to you, already be silently rearranging her world for you, and you won't even notice. Why? Because her love isn't obvious. It's subtle. It's encoded in behaviors, in contradictions, in small details that slip by when you're not paying attention. And if you miss them, if you misinterpret them, if you walk away thinking she never cared, you don't just lose her. You lose something even deeper. You lose the chance to finally understand what real emotional connection looks like. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on these hidden truths. I'm going to take you through the emotional signs, the unspoken signals that her heart is already yours, even if she's too afraid to say it out loud. This is part 1 of a 6-part breakdown. And if you stay with me, if you actually listen, if you internalize what I'm about to share, you will never again be left confused in love. You'll stop guessing. You'll stop doubting. And you'll finally know. So let's start with the first sign. One of the most powerful, most misunderstood, and most life-changing indicators of hidden love: subconscious loyalty. When most men hear the word loyalty, they think of big promises. They imagine dramatic declarations. I'll never leave you. I'll always be by your side. I'm ride or die. But here's the truth. Real loyalty doesn't speak like that. Real loyalty doesn't announce itself. Real loyalty doesn't need to be marketed. It shows itself quietly, consistently, almost invisibly. It's not what she says, it's what she does without thinking about it. Subconscious loyalty is when someone shows up for you, not because they decided to, but because they couldn't imagine not showing up. It's instinctive, it's natural, it's unplanned. And here's why it's so powerful. When someone is subconsciously loyal to you, they're revealing that their heart is already invested. Their mind might still be wrestling with fear, hesitation, or pride, but their emotions are already yours. So how does subconscious loyalty actually look? Think about a moment in your life when things weren't going well. Maybe you were stressed about work. Maybe you were dealing with a family issue. Maybe you were just mentally drained and didn't feel like yourself. Who showed up? Who found a way to make sure you weren't alone, even when they had every excuse not to? It won't be the person who always talks about being there for you. It won't be the one who posts about loyalty on social media or makes loud promises. It will be the person who quietly cancels their own plans, never mentions it, and just sits with you in silence. It will be the one who notices your mood shift and texts you out of nowhere, "Hey, you good?" Like they could feel your energy drop even from a distance. It will be the person who minimizes their own sacrifices, because for them, showing up wasn't an effort, it was automatic. That's subconscious loyalty. Here's the tragic part. Most men miss it. They overlook it because they're waiting for the fireworks. They expect love to be loud, dramatic, obvious. And when it isn't, they assume it doesn't exist. So they walk away. They label her as just a friend. They convince themselves she doesn't care. Meanwhile, she was quietly rearranging her world for them, and they never saw it. Understand this. Subconscious loyalty is not flashy. It's not loud. It's not Instagram-worthy. It's hidden in the little adjustments, the quiet presence, the steady consistency. If you don't learn to recognize it, you'll keep walking past the rarest form of love you'll ever experience. Now, let me tell you why subconscious loyalty is so much more powerful than words. Words are easy. Anyone can promise. Anyone can say the right thing. Anyone can play the role. But subconscious actions? They can't be faked. If someone truly doesn't care about you, they will not inconvenience themselves for you again and again without realizing it. They will not sacrifice small comforts just to make your life easier. They will not rearrange their priorities around yours unless, deep down, you already matter more than they're willing to admit. This is why subconscious loyalty is such a powerful sign. It bypasses logic. It bypasses fear. It bypasses the wall someone tries to build around their heart. It reveals what's real. Now, let's take a Stoic lens on this. The Stoics taught us that truth often hides in silence, not in noise. That real strength is quiet. That the deepest commitments are not the ones shouted from a stage, but the ones lived out daily, often unnoticed. Subconscious loyalty is exactly that. It's not about words, it's about actions, repeated consistently when nobody's watching. It's not about drama, it's about steadiness. It's not about what feels grand in the moment, it's about what lasts through time. And if you want to live as a high-value man, as a man who doesn't fall for illusions, you must train your eyes to see this. So here's what I want you to do. Think about the people in your life. Look at the small, consistent actions. Who checks in on you when you disappear for a while? Who adjusts their schedule quietly just to be near you? Who remembers to show up not once, but over and over again, even when it wasn't convenient? Don't overlook those people. Don't dismiss their loyalty just because it wasn't wrapped in fireworks. Because often, the people showing you subconscious loyalty are the ones whose hearts already belong to you, even if they're too afraid to admit it. And if you can recognize this, if you can honor it, if you can respond with the same quiet consistency, you'll unlock the kind of relationship most men spend their entire lives searching for. In Part 2, we're going to explore one of the most confusing and misunderstood signs of hidden love: emotional inconsistency. Most men mistake it for disinterest, games, or manipulation. But the truth is far deeper, and once you understand it, you'll never be thrown off by mixed signals again. Stay with me. This next part will completely change how you see women forever. If Part 1 taught you how to see the quiet strength of subconscious loyalty, then Part 2 will challenge you even more. Because now, we're entering one of the most misunderstood signals in all of relationships. It's the sign that makes most men quit too early. It's the sign that gets labeled as mixed signals or games. It's the sign that makes you doubt whether she cares at all. I'm talking about emotional inconsistency. And here's the hard truth. If you don't understand this, you will walk away from women who actually loved you. You'll misread her fear as rejection. You'll see her battle as manipulation. And you'll end up bitter, confused, and empty-handed. But once you do understand it, everything changes. You'll see her inconsistency, not as chaos, but as evidence of how much you mean to her. You'll stop being thrown off by sudden shifts in her energy, and you'll finally understand the war being fought inside her heart. So what is emotional inconsistency? It's when she seems deeply connected one moment, smiling, laughing, fully open, and then suddenly distant, withdrawn, and cold the next. It's the push and pull, the hot and cold, the yes, and then the no. Now, most men see this and immediately jump to the wrong conclusion. She's playing me. She's not serious. She's toxic. But here's the truth. Emotional inconsistency is not manipulation. It's fear. It's the battle between her heart that wants to open to you and her mind that's terrified of what that could cost her. Let's look closer. When she's laughing with you, when her eyes light up at your presence, when her body language softens and she leans in, that's her heart winning. That's the side of her that longs to connect, that wants to trust, that feels pulled toward you like gravity. Those are the moments where she lets her guard slip. She lets herself feel safe, even just for a second. She lets herself taste what it would be like if she stopped resisting and simply loved you openly. Those are not accidents. They are windows into her truth. But then, the wall slams back down. She gets distant, quiet, distracted. She pretends those warm moments never happened. And that's when most men give up. They think she doesn't care. But in reality, that wall is proof that she cares more deeply than she can handle. You see, her coldness isn't about you. It's about her past. It's about the heartbreaks that still echo in her mind. It's about the moments she trusted someone before and paid the price. So when she pulls back, it's her fear talking, not her heart. It's her subconscious screaming, "Don't get hurt again. Don't open up. Don't let this man in unless you're sure." And here's the key. If she truly felt nothing for you, she wouldn't be inconsistent at all. She'd be steady, cold, unaffected. Inconsistency only happens when there's something real at stake. Now, let's talk about why most men get this wrong. Men are logical by nature. We're trained to read consistency as truth and inconsistency as a red flag. In business, in friendships, in life, if someone's inconsistent, it usually means they don't care. But relationships aren't business deals. They're battles of the heart. And the heart doesn't move in straight lines. So when she's inconsistent, it doesn't mean she's confused about you. It means she's fighting herself. The moments she's warm reveal how much she wants to love you. The moments she's cold reveal how much she fears what happens if she does. Now, let's bring Stoicism into this. The Stoics believe that human beings are driven not just by logic, but by deep emotional impulses we often can't control. They taught us that fear, especially fear of loss or pain, is one of the strongest forces in human life. What you're seeing in her inconsistency is exactly that. Fear colliding with desire. It's the eternal conflict between vulnerability and protection. And here's where you must rise above. A weak man takes her inconsistency personally. He reacts with anger, frustration, or withdrawal. But a stoic man? He understands. He sees her struggle with compassion. He doesn't let her fear dictate his own behavior. That's the difference between a man she loses trust in and a man she eventually feels safe to love completely. So, how do you handle emotional inconsistency? First, stop interpreting it as rejection. It's not rejection. It's a hidden cry for safety. Second, don't fight her fear with anger. If you get upset when she pulls away, you're only proving her fear right. Instead, stay steady. Be consistent, even when she isn't. Show her through presence, not promises that you're not going anywhere. Third, don't chase every mood swing. Let her feel her emotions. Don't try to fix them, just be there. Over time, the steadiness of your presence will calm the storm inside her. And finally, recognize that inconsistency is not weakness. It's proof of depth. It's proof that you matter enough to scare her. Now that you understand emotional inconsistency, you're ready for the next sign, one that's even more raw, even more unfiltered, and almost impossible to fake. It's called emotional reactivity. And when you see it, you'll realize just how much power you hold inside her heart, even if she's trying to hide it. Stay with me. This is where things get real. By now, you've learned how to see the quiet consistency of subconscious loyalty. You've also uncovered the hidden battle of emotional inconsistency, the push and pull that most men mistake for rejection. But the next sign? This one is explosive. It's raw. It's unfiltered. It's the kind of truth no one can hide, no matter how hard they try. I'm talking about emotional reactivity. And once you understand this, you'll start to see hidden feelings everywhere. Feelings that words could never admit, but reactions could never disguise. Here's the foundation. If someone feels neutral about you, they stay calm, no matter what you do. You could ignore them. You could talk to someone else. You could disappear for days, and their emotional waters would barely ripple. Because indifference doesn't react. It doesn't flare up. It doesn't spark. But when someone's heart is secretly tied to you, their emotions will betray them. They'll react more strongly than they want to. They'll reveal their attachment in flashes of jealousy, irritation, or unexpected intensity. That's emotional reactivity. It's the storm that erupts before their logic has time to shut it down. So how does this look in real life? You're talking with another woman, and suddenly her tone shifts just slightly colder, sharper. You laugh a little too hard at someone else's joke, and irritation flashes across her face before she masks it. You become distant for a few days, and when you reconnect, she throws a sarcastic jab that cuts just a little deeper than it should. These aren't accidents. These are emotional flare-ups. They're the moments where her heart reveals what her words are desperate to hide. Understand this: if she didn't care, she wouldn't react. Indifference is calm. Love hidden love creates turbulence. Think about it. When someone is terrified to admit how much they care, they'll do everything they can to act unbothered. They'll put on the mask. They'll try to stay cool, detached, unaffected. But emotions move faster than logic. They erupt before she can cover them. That's why you'll see the flash in her eyes, the sharp tone, the sudden mood shift. She's angry at you, but more than that, she's angry at herself for letting it show. And so often, after she reacts, she'll pull away even harder, trying to regain control, trying to rebuild the wall. This is why most men get lost in the cycle. They see the reactivity, they feel attacked, they push back, and both sides spiral into distance. What they don't realize is this: her reaction wasn't an attack, it was an unguarded confession. Most men see emotional reactivity as drama. She's moody. She's immature. She's disrespectful. So they walk away. They leave behind the very proof that she cared too much to stay calm. Here's the truth: emotional reactivity is not a sign of weakness. It's not manipulation. It's not a red flag by itself. It's the raw evidence that her feelings for you are stronger than her ability to hide them. It's her heart screaming louder than her mind can silence. Now, let's take the Stoic lens again. The Stoics believed that what disturbs us is not the events themselves, but our interpretation of them. Apply that here. If you interpret her emotional reactivity as disrespect, you'll respond with anger and the connection dies. If you interpret it as a hidden expression of care, you'll respond with steadiness and the connection deepens. The Stoic man doesn't get thrown off by sudden mood swings. He understands the emotions aren't really about him, they're about the depth of her attachment colliding with her fear. So instead of matching her storm, he becomes the calm in the storm. That's how trust is built. That's how the wall eventually crumbles. So how do you handle emotional reactivity in real life? Don't take the bait. When she lashes out, don't react with equal fire. Stay calm. Show her that her emotions don't scare you away. Look beneath the surface. Instead of focusing on the sarcasm or the sharp tone, ask yourself, what does this reaction reveal about how deeply she feels? Stay steady. The more consistently calm and grounded you remain in the face of her reactivity, the more safe she will feel. Over time, her need to hide will fade. Don't confuse it with toxicity. True toxicity is constant disrespect without care. Emotional reactivity, on the other hand, is care spilling out in unpolished ways. Learn to tell the difference. Here's what you need to remember. If she didn't care, she wouldn't react. She wouldn't flinch when you drift. She wouldn't tense up when you give attention elsewhere. She wouldn't fight herself every time her feelings slip out. Emotional reactivity is not the enemy, it's the proof. It's the signal that you've already touched her heart at a level she can't fully control. And if you can see this clearly, if you can remain steady when her emotions flare, you'll earn a level of trust that most men never experience. Now that you understand emotional reactivity, we're going to shift into something quieter but equally powerful. A sign so subtle, so rare, and so often overlooked that most men never even notice it. It's not about how she reacts. It's about how she listens. In Part 4, we'll explore attentive listening and why it's one of the purest, most undeniable signs her heart is already tied to yours. We've explored the signs that are loud, the loyalty she can't hide, the inconsistency that betrays her fear, the reactivity that explodes before she can control it. But the next sign? It's quiet. It doesn't flare up. It doesn't demand attention. In fact, it's so subtle that most men walk right past it without realizing what it truly means. I'm talking about attentive listening. And listen closely, because when a woman listens to you in this way, it's not casual. It's not politeness. It's not small talk. It's her heart leaning in. It's her soul tuning itself to yours. It's one of the most profound and most overlooked signs of hidden love. We live in a world of noise. People half listen while scrolling on their phones. They nod while thinking about what they'll say next. They hear words, but they don't listen. So when a woman listens with her full attention, it means something extraordinary. It means you've pierced through the noise. It means your voice matters to her. It means your thoughts, your stories, your perspective have weight inside her world. And that's not something women give to just anyone. Let's paint the picture. She remembers small details you barely noticed you mentioned. She brings up things you said weeks ago, weaving them into conversation with surprising accuracy. She asks follow-up questions not just to be polite, but because she genuinely cares to understand your inner world. Her body language shifts. Her eyes don't wander, they lock onto you. She leans in, subtly closing the gap. Her expressions mirror your emotions, showing that she's not just hearing, but feeling with you. This is not casual listening. This is emotional investment disguised as curiosity. Here's why this matters so much. We don't give our deepest attention to people we don't value. Attention is currency. And when she spends hers on you, fully and freely, she's revealing where her heart is. Because think about it, if she didn't care, she wouldn't remember the small details. She wouldn't be attuned to your moods. She wouldn't light up when you share your dreams, or lean in when you reveal your struggles. True listening is love in action. It's the invisible way, she says. You matter to me. I want to know you, not just the surface, but the depth. Now, let's see this through the eyes of Stoicism. The Stoics taught that true wisdom begins with listening to reason, to nature, and to the inner voice of the soul. When a woman listens to you with her whole being, she is, in a sense, practicing this same wisdom. She's stepping outside of herself. She's suspending her own noise, her own distractions, her own inner chatter so that she can tune into you fully. That level of focus doesn't come from indifference. It comes from care, from love, from respect. Here's the tragedy. Most men don't notice. They're so focused on dramatic signs, big emotions, big gestures, that they miss the quiet proof right in front of them. They mistake attentive listening for friendliness. They dismiss it as nothing special. And in doing so, they fail to see the treasure that's being offered. But make no mistake, a woman who listens deeply is a woman who has already allowed you into her heart. Her listening is her way of holding you close without having to say it out loud. So what do you do when you notice this? Acknowledge it. Don't take her attention for granted. Value the fact that she values you. Reciprocate. Listen to her just as deeply. Mirror the same attentiveness. This creates intimacy that words alone cannot build. Open up. When someone listens with that level of care, it's safe to share more. Give her the gift of your inner world. Test the depth. Mention something subtle, something small, and see if she remembers later. If she does, you'll know just how deeply her attention is anchored to you. Here's what you must remember. Words can be faked. Gestures can be staged. Even emotions can be performed. But listening? True, undivided, attentive listening that cannot be faked. You cannot pretend to remember things you didn't value. You cannot fake genuine curiosity in someone's soul. So when she listens with full attention, when her eyes, her memory, and her heart are locked on, you understand. That's love speaking in silence. We've now seen the quiet proof of love in listening. But in Part 5, we'll explore something that goes beyond silence, something bold, vulnerable, and deeply telling. It's the micro-sacrifices she makes for you. The small ways she chooses you over herself, sometimes without even realizing it. This is where hidden love becomes visible in action. We've talked about loyalty, inconsistency, emotional reactivity, and attentive listening. Each of those reveals the invisible bonds of hidden love. But this next sign, this is where love crosses the line from feeling into action. It's where words and emotions evolve into small, tangible choices. I'm talking about micro-sacrifices. The tiny, almost invisible ways she puts you above herself. The small choices she makes not out of duty, not out of obligation, but out of care. And once you recognize these micro-sacrifices, you'll see that love doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers through the sacrifices no one else would even notice. Let's clarify. A micro-sacrifice is not a grand gesture. It's not giving up her career for you. It's not moving across the country to follow you. A micro-sacrifice is when she makes a small adjustment in her life, her time, or her comfort, just for you. It could be staying up late to talk, even when she's exhausted. Choosing a restaurant she doesn't really like because she knows you do. Canceling another plan so she can be there when you need her. Remembering what you love and going out of her way to make sure you have it. These aren't accidents. These are investments. And they reveal something deeper than words ever could. Why do micro-sacrifices matter so much? Because sacrifice is the truest test of love. Anyone can say, "I love you." Anyone can smile, flirt, or show affection when it's easy. But love proves itself when it costs something, when she gives up a little of her own comfort, her own time, her own preference for you. And remember, these are not sacrifices she has to make. She chooses to make them. That's the difference. Indifference never sacrifices. Selfishness never sacrifices. Only love does. Here's something fascinating from psychology. Our choices reveal our values, even the smallest ones. When she sacrifices even in subtle ways, she's revealing that you are not just an option, not just a momentary interest. You are a priority. Her subconscious is saying, "Your happiness matters to me. Your presence is worth more than my temporary comfort." That's the language of love, spoken not in words, but in choices. Let's see this through the Stoic lens. The Stoics believe that true character is revealed not in big events, but in small, daily actions. Epictetus once said, "Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all as natural." In the same way, a woman's love is not proven only in dramatic gestures. It's revealed in the natural everyday sacrifices she makes without even thinking. Because when the heart is attached, sacrifice becomes second nature. She doesn't even realize she's doing it. She simply moves toward your good, instinctively. That's not obligation. That's devotion. You may not even notice them at first. But look closer. She gives you the last bite of something she loves. She adjusts her schedule to match yours, even when it's inconvenient. She sits through something she doesn't enjoy because she knows you do. She checks on you when you're quiet, even if it interrupts her own focus. She spends her energy, her attention, her presence without keeping score. Each one may seem small, but together they paint a picture of something undeniable. Her heart is already invested in you. Here's the sad truth. Most men miss these signs. They take the sacrifices for granted. They assume it's normal. They fail to recognize the cost she's paying because it doesn't look dramatic. But if you fail to notice, if you fail to value these micro-sacrifices, she will eventually stop making them. Because no one wants to give when their giving goes unseen. That's why awareness is everything. When you see the sacrifices, when you acknowledge them, when you appreciate them, you're not just rewarding her actions, you're reinforcing her love. So what do you do when you recognize micro-sacrifices? Show gratitude, even for the smallest thing. A simple thank you can mean the world. Reciprocate. Give back in small ways too. Show that you're not blind and you're willing to meet her halfway. Don't demand. Sacrifices lose their meaning when they're expected. Let them remain gifts, not obligations. See the love behind it. Don't focus only on the act itself. Focus on what it represents. Her willingness to put you above herself. Here's what you must never forget. Grand gestures may impress, but micro-sacrifices reveal. They reveal the quiet truth of love. The truth that says, you matter more than me in this moment. It's in the late-night call. It's in the meal she makes. It's in the comfort she gives up. It's in the silent choices that cost her something small, but prove something enormous. So pay attention, because micro-sacrifices are not just small acts. They're the purest evidence of devotion, offered not in noise, but in silence. Now that you've seen how love reveals itself in sacrifices, we move into the final and most powerful sign, the one that ties everything together. It's the future orientation. She shows the way she quietly, almost accidentally, starts building a future that includes you. That's where hidden love stops being hidden. That's where it becomes destiny. We've journeyed through the subtle signs of hidden love: loyalty, inconsistency, emotional reactivity, attentive listening, and micro-sacrifices. Each one reveals a layer of her heart. But this final sign? This is the one that looks beyond today. This is the one that whispers not just "I love you now," but "I see you in my tomorrow." It's the future orientation of hidden love. The way she quietly, sometimes unconsciously, starts weaving you into the fabric of her future. And once you see this, you'll understand hidden love is never truly hidden. It always points forward. So, what do I mean by future orientation? It's when she talks about the future and you're already in it. She mentions places she wants to travel and she says "we" instead of "I." She talks about her dreams, her goals, her next steps, and somehow you're a part of them. She makes plans weeks, months, even years ahead and assumes you'll be there. She imagines what life could look like, and she imagines it with you in it. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes she doesn't even realize she's doing it. But every time it happens, it's her heart admitting, "I don't just want you for now, I want you for later." Pay close attention to the language she uses. When a woman starts shifting from me to we, it's no accident. Language reveals mindset. We should try that restaurant. We should go there one day. Our kind of humor. Our favorite spot. That little word "we" carries enormous weight. It's the unconscious expression of unity. It's love speaking the language of partnership before the relationship even begins. Here's why this sign is so powerful. Infatuation is about the moment. Attraction is about today. But love, true love, is about tomorrow. When she imagines you in her future, it means her heart has already committed. She's already building a vision of life where you belong. She's already aligning her steps, her choices, her path with you at her side. And no one does that lightly. The Stoics often spoke of aligning life with reason, with nature, with what is eternal. Future orientation in love is a form of this. It's not just about fleeting feelings, it's about alignment, planning, stability. When she includes you in her future, she is, in a sense, saying, "My reason, my nature, my path, it makes sense only if you are in it." And that's no small confession. That's a hidden vow. Future orientation doesn't always sound like "I want to marry you." Often, it's softer. She says, "Next summer, we should go there." She saves ideas for things you might do together. She introduces you to people in her life as if you're already a long-term fixture. She invests in your growth because your future matters to her as much as her own. These are seeds of a future she's planting with you already rooted in the soil. So many men miss this sign. They hear "we" and think it's casual. They don't notice the quiet ways she's projecting them into her future. They shrug off the significance because it doesn't sound like a big confession. But here's the truth. People don't casually place others in their future. It's not something we do with just anyone. It reveals a heart that has already chosen. If you notice she's including you in her future, here's how you should respond. Acknowledge it softly. Smile. Recognize the "we." Let her know you notice without making it heavy. Engage with it. Join in the vision. If she says, "We should go there one day," reply with, "Yeah, that'd be amazing." Reciprocate. Start speaking in the language of "we" as well. Invite her into your future, even in small ways. Respect the wait. Don't mock it. Don't dismiss it. She's showing you a piece of her hidden love. Honor it. Here's what you must carry with you. A woman's hidden love isn't always declared in words. It's revealed in the way she sees her tomorrow. When she shifts from "me" to "we." When she places you in her plans without hesitation. When she dreams with you already there. That is love pointing forward. That is devotion becoming destiny. And once you recognize it, you'll realize her hidden love was never hidden. It was written into her vision of the future all along. So, let's bring it all together. The 6 signs of hidden love are not always loud. They are subtle. They are quiet. They are often overlooked. Loyalty, she cannot hide. Inconsistency, born of fear. Emotional reactivity that reveals her care. Attentive listening that goes beyond casual. Micro-sacrifices that prove devotion. And finally, future orientation, the ultimate sign that her love is not just for today, but for tomorrow. If you've seen these signs, know this: you are already in her heart. And love, once planted, only grows stronger. So be wise. Notice the signs. Honor them. And if you feel the same, meet her love with courage, clarity, and commitment. Because hidden love isn't meant to stay hidden forever. It's meant to blossom into something lasting, something eternal.